Hey guys, in today's video, I wanted to show you a small trick that you can do with your drums, your percussion, your bass, your instruments that can add a lot of groove to your tracks. So I've got a track here where everything is on the grid technically. So if we look at this track delay here, this is what I use to add the swing that we're going to look at in this lesson. And everything is at 0. And I've resampled it here. So let's listen to the organic house track that I've got here in a straight rhythm first, and then I'm going to show you how I add groove to it. Okay, so that sounds fine on its own. And so what you want to do is you want to first leave the anchor alone. So in house, the kick is the 4 to the floor beat that is driving the main rhythm. And you don't want to mess with this because this is going to really annoy DJs. They want the kick to be on the grid. So leave the kick alone. But other elements like the vocal, I can nudge this slightly off grid. So say like 10 milliseconds to the head of the beat. And then the chord stabs, let's move these. The bass. If we listen. Now I'm starting to get that nice swung, lazy feeling. And I do this very subtly with every single instrument. It doesn't have to be ahead of the beat, it could be behind the beat as well. And so I just go through and I listen to all the micro rhythms here. This one has already swung a little bit. Maybe just leave it as it was. I've moved it to 12. And I just go through and basically swing everything. The way I look at it is the higher up on the frequency spectrum, the more it can get away with swing. So on the low end, you don't want to swing the kick drum, for example. But in the mid-range and the high end, you can get away with a lot more swing, a lot more leniency in how much you move it off the grid. In some genres of house, you don't want to move the hi-hats too far off the grid though, because then it's just going to make DJing it impossible. So like with a Foley sound though, for example, which is sidechained to the kick, so it's being forced to be in rhythm in a sense. I can move this really off grid to add some really nice swung micro polyrhythms to the groove. I also just want to point out, even though it's not related to the main concept of this lesson, the idea of call and response in your music. So it creates a lot of space without needing to do crazy mixing tricks. So the vocal and the synth line live in the same area in the frequency spectrum. The vocal, when the vocal is playing, the synth is not playing or it's going to be filtered out. When the vocal goes out, the synth comes in and that then fills in the mid-range. Let's listen to that. Then the synth comes in. So the call and response is a really powerful technique. You can use it in different layers, in different sections of your music, in the arrangement, in the instruments themselves. It's a very, very useful technique. So always think about call and response before you try to do crazy ideas, fix it in the mixing stage. Try to do good call and response ideas in the production phase. This is how you come up with strong ideas that actually resonate. One of the techniques anyway. So let's now record the swung rhythm into the resampling. So I'm just gonna record this in here, and this will now be the swung version, and we'll compare the two versions. Okay, so we've got a nice section there. I think that synth was a bit too swung, so I've moved it a bit more on grid to 7 milliseconds. And let's just compare now. So you're gonna hear that the version we just did here with the swung rhythm sounds a lot more full of life. And that is because of these micro adjustments that you can do. So let's just A-B between them. It's A-B between them. Okay, that didn't resample properly. Let me just resample it again. Okay, so we've captured a nice section of it there. Let's now switch between the straight rhythm and the swung rhythm. And you're going to hear that the swung rhythm sounds a lot more full of life. So if I solo this one out and then we switch between them. You can hear it in every instrument when you listen really closely, especially in the clap, especially in the hats, and even the chords as well. And so doing these micro adjustments are the final 10-15% final touches that you need in your groove after you've done the sound design, after you've done the main patterns. I do this in every genre I'm working in. I do this on every track, and it's really going to help you bring a lot of life to your music. So if you found this useful, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll be back with a lot more videos very shortly.